I was talking a little bit, where was our lesson from last? Yeah, here we go. Talking with Sunny a little bit after class, and I realized I wanted to just take a look at the idea of entropy and information gain very quickly. And wanted to let you know that these are related concepts. So basically, entropy is our measure of how much diversity we have in our data set. And this is used to create these segments in the population. We want to minimize the entropy, right? Draw a line somewhere that's going to minimize the entropy in two different sections, and we saw that visually. I just wanted to point out that information gain can be considered as the opposite of entropy. So we had this example. I think this helps understand it a little bit. If entropy is 0, right? If entropy is 0, what does that mean? So here we have entropy of 0 on the left side of our graphic, which is saying, okay, well, every single one of those items is the same with respect to our target variable. They're all blue, so the target variable is represented in blue. And then on the right side, we have a non-zero entropy. Right? And then we can take a look at the overall entropy, which is an aggregate of both of those things. So we're able to, if we were able to perfectly segment the data into groups that have 0 entropy, then our overall entropy would be 0, because we'd be adding 0 plus 0. So that the information gain is actually 1 minus the entropy. Okay? So whenever the entropy is reduced the most, the information gain is going to be the highest. Okay? So they're kind of opposite in that way. And I'm going to jump all the way down to the end of our slides here, where we looked at a graph which we are going to see today. Okay? And this is showing information gain, okay, on the y-axis. I don't know how my label got removed, but the y-axis is showing our information gain based on partitions that relate to a particular attribute. Okay? So the house value was identified as the most informative attribute because dividing the data based on the house price reduced the entropy the most in both segments. So the segment that was below a certain house value and the segment above a certain house value. Those segments have the lowest entropy of any of the variable divisions that we could have considered. So therefore, dividing based on the house price was also associated with the highest information gain. So lowering the entropy in the segments leads to a higher information gain. So when we look at a graphic like this, we're going to try to see, okay, which of these variables was most effective in increasing the information gain, and we can reliably point to those variables as the most important. And then we're going to get a chance to practice today with the employee attrition, and we'll identify some variables that are going to be helpful in reducing employee attrition, which is the goal. We want to reduce the number of, we want to minimize the number of employees who leave a company. And so we are going to see a graphic like this, and we're going to be able to talk a little bit about the business context and decide, okay, well, what actions could the company potentially take based on this information? So that's where we're going to be headed with this. So that's a look at information gain. And another thing we are going to see is, and it's something that has showed up in some of our data camp courses, but I decided I would just expand upon, hopefully this works for us, to expand upon